Steve here with Table Rock Tea Company. This video I am talking to you specifically, homesteaders, preppers, regenerative farmers, agriculturalists, all of that. If you are trying to do a sustainable farm, a sustainable homestead, I want you to consider growing tea. Yes, I am biased. We are Table Rock Tea Company. We've been growing tea on our homestead for many years now, and I'm about to show you kind of the benefits of this plant as it pertains to prepping, homesteading, and just making a sustainable farm. You can do this organically, you can do this as a hybrid, you can do this as regenerative, you can do it no-till, and it's really a versatile plant. So let me kind of take you through it. I'll extol the virtues of the tea plant, and hopefully, if you guys need a hand, you'll call us. So first of all, what is tea? Now I'm on the back of our greenhouse here, and I have about 20 or so different varieties of tea plants from all over the world. That said, tea is all one single plant. It is Camellia sinensis. There are two main branches, Assamica and sinensis, and that means either Indian or Chinese. In general, Chinese is more cold tolerant, but that's not necessarily true. They're all kind of hybridized right now. Assamica makes a better black tea, in my opinion. We grow Assamicas here. So, Camellia sinensis, which means it is a camellia. So, any of you guys who are into camellias, you can grow tea almost the same way as other camellias. Now, the general rule of thumb is if you can grow blueberries, you can grow tea. It likes acidic soil. It doesn't like wet feet, so don't plant it anywhere that's, in a place where you're going to have standing water. But other than that, a very resilient plant. Now we're going to take a walk down into one of our first fields, and I'm going to show you a little bit about what tea looks like. Tea wants to be a tree, so if you let it go, it'll be about the size of a dogwood, something like that, about 25 feet tall. But we prune it down into a bush. Now, what you should be seeing rolling on the film behind me are the tea rows, okay? So I'm walking down a tea row. These are about 6 years old right now, and we're harvesting off of these. Now, tea will be good at max production for 50 to 80 years, okay? They are slow growers. They take about 4 or 5 years to mature, but once you got them, you got them. And like I said, they'll produce for 50 to 80 years. They'll actually live into the hundreds. Some plants are known to be over 3,000 years old. So pretty amazing. Now, I don't know if you can catch this behind me. Right now it's winter, okay? So the trees, all the leaves are gone. But I'm growing tea here in the woods, okay? This is actually very shady here. Tea will grow in full shade, full sun, or partial. So it doesn't matter as far as the growing conditions. What's really nice, I'll see if I can catch it, but yeah, you can see I'm growing it on slopey land. So tea can be used in areas like behind me here that are not being used for other agricultural purposes. So again, another great virtue of tea is you can throw it kind of anywhere and make it grow, and it'll produce for you. So very hardy plant. It is evergreen, so it stays like this all winter, and just a really pretty plant. Now, we do low density here, and I'm standing in the middle of about 2 acres, okay? And there's tea kind of all around me. And by now you should be asking yourself, okay, well, how much does this stuff make? How much does a tea plant grow and produce, and how much do you need in an acre? In these 2 acres that you see, we've got about 6,000 plants. Now, I'm gonna show you what 1,000 looks like, and I'll show you what 500 looks like, and I'll show you what about 100 looks like. All right, so this is in front of our greenhouse, and this is one of my favorite patches here. This happens to be facing east, okay? So again, it doesn't so much matter. We plant along the contours of the land according to the slope. And I'm gonna zoom in a little on this patch right here. But basically, the patch that is in the screen right now is 1,000 bushes, okay? They're about maybe 2-3 years old right now. Yeah, about 2 years old actually. So that's 1,000. Doesn't take up much space at all. You're talking about less than a 1/4 acre. It's probably more like an 1/8. And yeah, so you can get a lot of tea in a little space. Let me show you what 500 looks like. Okay, this section is what we call the triangle, and you can see compared to the cars, that's got about 5, maybe 600 tea plants in it that are a lot more mature. So again, not a whole lot of space. Now, people ask us all the time how we got started in tea, and I can tell you that this is how we started. This hedgerow right here, we just wanted to line the driveway in a way that had edible landscape and that was sustainable, and we decided to grow tea. What you're looking at here, I'll kind of do a little bit of a ring, but it starts over there where the gator is, comes around the driveway, makes the corner, and goes up here. That's about, I think, 150 plants, something like that. And it makes a really nice landscaping bush. As far as the spacing goes, the tea gets to be about 4 or 5 feet wide when it's fully mature. These are mature here. These are about 7 or 8 years old, I suppose. And you can see they make a pretty wide hedge. But again, it's evergreen. So instead of planting compacta hollies or things like that, you really should consider growing Camellia sinensis or tea. It's going to flower in October, November. The bees really love that because it's one of the few things out there for the pollinators at that time of year. So really nice. And after about 4 or 5 years or so, you'll be collecting your own seeds and you can propagate from there and again, have a sustainable farm. We do sell seeds. We sell seedlings here as well, plants. And early March, first week of March is really the time that you want to start planting. So now is the time if you want to put in an order. We sell germinated bins, which are your best bet. Those are not, I don't think, advertised on our website, tablerocktea.com. But we do sell germinated bins where you get 1,000 that are already germinated for you. You're going to have to overwinter them and things like that, but it gives you a head start. You don't have to figure out the seed production. And I think those are $2,500 for a germinated bin. But anyway, yeah, so this is, again, just a way to do edible landscaping. Now, one plant, just to give you an idea of the spacing, we space our rows 5 feet apart, row to row, and then 30 inches between plants, okay? So about 2.5 feet between plants. And one mature tea plant will provide finished product about 50 individual servings of tea per year. So that gives you any calculation. A lot of our clients come to us and they just want to use it as a landscaping plant. They want to put it around their house, you know, just as a border instead of, like I said, compacta holly or whatever, that kind of thing. So yeah, really, really versatile plant. Looks pretty all year round. Now, when you search for homesteading videos or prepping and all of that kind of stuff, one thing that always comes up is, what about caffeine? And most of the time people are talking about coffee. People try to grow coffee and it always works out sort of badly in the end because coffee has to have a very specific climate. It's not all that conducive to the temperate United States. There are people who are growing it. I will say not all that great. Tea, on the other hand, much more versatile. It is a great way to get your caffeine, especially if you're looking at a SHTF situation, grid down, whatever, where you want to grow your own caffeine source. I think tea is definitely the way to go. Some of the folks here, we live in South Carolina. I remember them talking about their grandparents. They could do everything on their farm. They could grow everything except for sugar and coffee. Those are the things they would trade for. Now, little known fact, but tea was first commercially successful right here in South Carolina, just a little bit down the road from us. But anyway, that notwithstanding, I think you should consider tea as your caffeine source for your prepping, your homesteading, your regenerative agriculture. Certainly it can be worked in to a sustainable farm or a backyard farm or whatever it would be. The other thing about tea, as we've already pointed out, is that because it's so small of a footprint, we're finding that a lot of people that can't afford a ton of land gravitate toward tea because you can fit a lot in a compact space. I just showed you, or I will show you, that you know, you can fit it in less than a quarter acre and grow a lot of tea. You can just use it as a landscape. And so people are looking at in urban settings and also just in places where you just really can't afford to buy a whole lot of land. So I just can't speak more highly of it. And like I said, we're here as a resource to help you out. So subscribe to our channel, get the book, email me. Happy to help you. Well, there you have it, just a short video extolling the virtues of tea. I hope that at least I've gotten you to think. If you are a homesteader, a prepper, again, regenerative agriculturalist, farmer, whatever it would be, just want an edible landscape. Tea is your plant. It's a really good plant. It's versatile. Again, anywhere you can grow blueberries, you can grow tea, full shade, full sun, or partial. It doesn't like the cold, so I would say if you're above zone 7, so you know, colder than zone 7 in the growing climate, probably not for you. However, you can grow it under, say, a high tunnel. That's something that we know people growing up as far as Michigan doing that. They're using our plants to do it. So if we can help you in any way, please subscribe to this channel, watch our videos. We give a lot of instructionals on how to grow it, how to process it, all of that, so you're not left hanging. I also have a book available called How to Grow and Make Tea in the United States. That's available on our website, tablerocktea.com. It's also available on Amazon, anywhere in the world, so you can learn how to grow and make tea. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see what else is brewing here at Table Rock Tea Company.